So I got bullet points as well because I'm a streamer and I will talk for y'all. I'll talk to y'all for the next hour. So if I don't get bullet points, I'm gonna be all over the place. So let's start here. I believe that the information you get is more valuable when you understand who you're getting it from. So I myself, I'm a combat photographer, transitioned into corporate America, started at TGI Fridays in their headquarters, creating content for the corporate side of things. Left TGI Fridays, decided to go to Dell. Then Texas Instrument offered me more money. I went to Texas Instrument, and then I said, how can I get a check from all of these people at once? So I started a company, and that's what I did. And my company, which is between you and I, is 1 or 2 man band, but we were able to present ourselves as a business to work with a lot of different companies in the industry and get published a lot of different places. From there, I created FlashFilm Academy, which is an online academy designed to teach creatives the business side of content creation. I can't be the only person that was taking pictures in the park for $50 a day. You go to B&H, you look up a camera you want, and it's $30,000, and you like, how are these dudes affording these $30,000 and $40,000 cameras? Well, somebody has to teach you the business side. So we teach you how to build a brand, a business that's dedicated to going after corporate industries who need content every single day. So that's what the Academy is about. And today I want to kind of take a different approach because whenever we evaluate equipment that we want to buy, the question that I like to ask my students and we like to talk about is how can it make you money? Why should you make this purchase? And most importantly, with what's going on in today, is it something that AI is going to eat up? Is it something that a cell phone can do? Is this a good purchase? And we're going to talk about whether or not we think this is a good purchase or live streaming in general. So let's get into it. Now that you know who I am, let's kind of get into the shift and things that's happening because, you know, you need to understand, you know, where things are going. So there's a lot of things AI can do well. AI can generate video, it can generate scripts, it can create voiceovers, it can create avatars, and content is no longer the advantage. You need a little bit more than that. What you need is you need a little more behind it. And creating live content is the only part that AI is not going to be able to tap into. There will be live avatars and things like that, but what make live content a little more profitable and a little more engaging is that it's real. You're not, you know, AI content you watch, but live content you are a part of. So inside the community, pivoting is very important. You know, if you were a headshot photographer 3 years ago, if you did touch-ups 3 years ago, if you did product photography 3 years ago, you're gonna have to pivot because things are changing. I can take a picture of a shirt, send it to ChatGPT and put it on a model that's on the beach, on a horse somewhere, and we didn't take one picture. If you're in that industry, there's no nice way of putting it, but you gotta pivot. You gotta pay attention to what's going on or you're not gonna be here. And in the community, those are things that we talk about a lot with our members who may have started in that type or in that industry and now understand that I need to learn new skill sets or new things or go into different directions if I want to continue to make a living in this industry. So that's some of the things that we talk about. And let's just be honest, live streaming, in my opinion, is the last human layer. There's some other ones, but live streaming is kind of where I feel comfortable putting my money if I want to live in this industry. So it's real important that we think about the last human layer and we talk about why it's important because unscripted content equals trust. People trust what they can't control. Mistakes equal authenticity. I can get up here and say whatever. If I don't make a mistake, y'all gonna be like, something's off about this guy, especially if I sit here and I don't blink. And I've had avatars that we've uploaded to YouTube that didn't blink when we first started, and they were like, we like it, but it's not you, and something's off. So real time equal urgency, right? You had to be there. It creates FOMO. For all my people that's watching at home, that's FlashFilm Academy members, getting those comments and let it be heard, let them know that you're watching it and you're a part of it. For those who missed it, they missed it. They didn't get a chance to see it live. And I will hear about it later, so I think that's important. It also drives instant engagement. Just like I did with my viewers, I can tell them to get in those comments and talk, and they will. I can tell them to submit questions, and they will. And once you develop that relationship, people love that relationship. That's why if you look at TikTok right now, TikTok Shop is selling a whole lot. And it's not because it's recorded videos, but it's because it's live videos of people telling you to buy stuff on Amazon that you may have skipped over 20 or 30 times. Plus, we know statistically, buyers are more likely to look for videos. I think it's like 70 or 78% of things that they want to purchase. So live is even greater. And to have a live video will help you a ton. So, and AI talks at people, live streaming talks with people. And I think that's important for the direction that we're going into, because there's a lot of people who are anti-AI just naturally, and that's okay. You can be anti-AI. My members, we're going to use it to make a little money with it while we can. So I want to go to why it can't be replaced, because I think that's important. Well, let me go to the next one, because we kind of touched over why it can't be replaced. But let's talk about the business application of live streaming and why we like the YOLO whole category of products and what it means to us. Companies don't just need content. What they need is training systems, internal communications, product launches, and live event coverages. A lot of companies are hiring members to do just that. One of my biggest clients is Torchy Tacos. We do a lot of new store openings. They want things streamed. They want things filmed, not only for new customers and people who may want to attend the restaurant, but for their NSO team that open a lot of new locations throughout the country, and they're trained, and they have students that may want to watch live. So that's real important with one of our larger clients. And it's just important that you are in the mindset and preparing your business with the capabilities and equipment you need to fulfill that I don't want to say problem, but to fulfill that issue for businesses. Super important that you are aware of that, and you're definitely, you're not getting lost in the sauce, as we like to say. Businesses don't hire creators anymore. They hire solutions. And you need to be solution-based. Saying that I'm just a videographer or photographer won't get you in the door anymore, because you can be easily replaced. You got to go in with a little bit more than that. You got to go in and you got to provide a solution to these businesses who have these problems. So very important, very important. And anybody can edit video. Not everybody can handle the pressure of live streaming. A lot of video editors freeze up when we got 5 or 6 cameras going, and you got to switch live. Graphics got to be live. Things got to be updated. And that separates you from the guys who can take their time and edit it and make it perfect. You got to be able to handle things on the fly, and you need the right equipment to do so. So go to the next one. So what I want to do next is I want to talk about the business application a little bit more. And before I go into how we reframe things, I want to talk about my relationship with YOLO Live, because I started, I think, with the Ultra, and then upgraded to the Extreme. And I want to say what I really enjoyed about working with this particular company over other companies is my relationship with Frank and the team, and just bringing ideas to them that we then saw in later firmwares. It's great to have somebody to listen to you, and you're not just buying into something and they don't care. You're submitting stuff and you never hear back, you never hear anything different. I've submitted a ton of ideas to Rode. Using the Rodecaster, I have not heard back from them guys or saw anything. I can talk to Frank about issues that I'm having or things that I would love to see, and he'll say, okay, and next thing you know, he like, did you download the firmware? And I'm like, it's in there, and he added it in. So I love that. And also, when you purchase something and you know that they're continuing to work on it to be better, they want to be the best in the industry, it make you want to continue to use their product, and it extends the life cycle of that product. Our goal is to make a profit off the tools that we use, and you can make a profit when they keep rolling out new features and they're stable. I think that's most important. A lot of people who are in this industry may be, a lot of old school guys stick to names, and if they don't know the name, they won't trust it, they won't use it on the real shoot. But YoloBox is something that we use on real shoots. In fact, we tell our members to use it, and it's one of the #1 tools that we use within the Academy for live streaming. I was a big Sling Studio user. I was a big ATEM user. We used to show up with cases and racks for a 3-camera setup. Now we have students that are using YOLO products not just for live streaming, but to capture events that aren't live streamed, so that they don't have to edit it later. They can switch it later. I've used it for events where we've had a big event in one room and we had to kick out the signal to a different room so that the overflow crowd can watch it. We've used YOLO products for that purposes and for that purpose. And I think a lot of you who get into that industry and start to work with events will definitely use it as well. Let me kind of close on a few things because I don't want to take up too much time. And I think it's important that we kind of talk about what's coming and not act like we don't see it. AI is going to continue to get better. Cell phones are going to continue to get better. You're going to have live AI editors, and we're going to get hit from every angle in the industry. What's not going to change is the live element. You need to invest in that if you plan on being around, and you need to have equipment that's portable, that's light, that can be used on the fly so you can stay flexible and you can be portable and you can continue to offer that solution to your client, because your clients want fast, great, professional content. And if you don't have the right tools, you won't be able to do that. And in my opinion, there's not a better tool than the YoloBox products, in my opinion. If for guys who've been in the industry for just 5 years, you know it was a suitcase full of stuff. And that was the portable stuff. It was a suitcase full of items to get a two-man shot going to one social media platform, to have all of them in a box, and you don't need a monitor, you don't need a recorder, you don't need a computer, you don't have to have somebody with another laptop kicking in graphics, you don't have to have this whole 6-man crew for a 2-camera setup. You can do it all on one box with a battery that's streaming live. You can't beat it. There's no other way of putting it. If guys still want to bring a whole rack and a truck to a shoot, have at it. I got a backpack. So it'll take you forever to get set up. I'm up and running, we're streaming, we're live. And it's interactive. So I'm talking to people who are commenting, I'm talking to people from multiple platforms, and my client get to answer those questions and interact with their online audience as well as their offline audience. So when my competition say, yeah, we can stream and send your image to Facebook or whatever, I'm talking about how we can not only stream it to multiple platforms, but allow your users to interact with your event. So now my client can sell online tickets and not just offline tickets, and we've opened up a whole different revenue stream for that client. And if I can make them more money, they're gonna pay me more money. And I get to go buy all my fun toys and all the stuff I love. And that's what I'm here for, to buy all the stuff I love. So I think it's important that we think about what this tool has to offer from a business standpoint and what I can offer my client by having a tool like this. And it's not a lot of, for those who may or may not have watched the YouTube channel, I don't support or talk about a lot of products because I don't use them. And I don't want to get in front of you and tell you it's great and repeat what they tell you to repeat so that they can sell more. I like to talk about items that I use that's changed my business and helped me grow and land more clients and keep more clients and turn a one-time client into a yearly client so that my income is more predictable. And I know it's a little bit different angle, but I think that's just a very important angle that a lot of people may not talk about when it comes to whether or not you should spend the money for something like this. And in my opinion, if you have a business and you want to offer live streaming, there's nothing better in the market unless you go get a whole production truck. And feel free, I'm showing up with a backpack. I'm just telling you now. So, you know, again, at FlashFilm Academy, we talk about the business side. So everybody teach you how to take a better picture. A lot of places teach you how to shoot better video, how to light it. There's not a lot of people telling you how to make money as a business so that you can buy all the cool gear they're reviewing. And like I said, I can tell you how many times, I can't tell you how many times I've watched a review of a camera and I go to Adorama and they're like, it's $16,000. And I'm like, what are these guys shooting to afford that? But there's a huge gap between guys who are making movies for Netflix and guys on YouTube. There's a huge corporate area of clients that need this content every single day. There's always an event, there's always training, there's always communication videos where the CFO or CEO may want to go live for the company and get feedback from viewers or employees in the company, and we can offer that thanks to, you know, YOLO Extreme and different YOLO devices. So I want to leave you guys with that because I think it's real important, and a little more information about FlashFilm Academy if you guys decide to get more information about it. There's a QR code where you can scan, take pictures, and learn more about the Academy. But most importantly, I also want to thank Frank and his team because, again, I've used a lot of products over the years and very few, for lack of better words, care about you as a user. Not just somebody to sell a product to where you buy it and you're done and they're like, good luck. But there's plenty of times where I've, just talked to him about little things and he would get back to me and he would have suggestions or there would be changes. And it's not just, a lot of companies build products to sell. And the guys over at YoloBox build products to use. They have people and they care about people who use these products. And you need something like that when your neck is on the line. Anybody that's military know how important it is to have a functional weapon that is reliable. Not having a functional weapon that's reliable will cost you your life in the military. And I feel like YoloBox offer us a functional, I'm not gonna call it a weapon, but a functional tool that's dependable, that works, that allow me to charge what I need to charge to make a living and have the ability to go buy more gear and tools. So I want to thank you guys for that. And again, if you are on the fence about trying to pick which one, and I know it's a lot of companies offering a lot of different tools and everything looks shiny and they'll tell you 8K and 10K and all of this stuff. But if you want something that's dependable, that offers a lot for you to offer your clients so that you can, we charge to make it interactive. We charge to stream on different networks, different social media platforms. We charge to have motion graphics. We charge for those different things. And having a product like this allow us to charge more and make more. So I think that's important when you decide whether or not you want to purchase something like this that a lot of people may not share with you initially that you need to know. Any other questions or anything? I mean, I did my job before you. So I use an array of cameras. I use A7S3s, I use Red Komodos, I use, right now A7S3s are our go-to because it helps with autofocus and it's really good in low light. But we also use Osmos because they're portable. And we've even used, cell phones using NDI just to place a camera somewhere we wouldn't normally place it. And if you came from the sling setup, which I was a super sling user, you couldn't tell me nothing. To not have to have that huge box and have the ability to be wireless without it was game over for me. My sling went straight to Facebook Marketplace. I was laughing when I was selling it, like, good luck, buddy. But you know what I mean? Because I knew you want to stay ahead of things. I'm the type of person that I like to keep my eye out so when something new happening, I can still sell my old stuff and get a decent amount. But the sling was something I held on to because of the capabilities, the wireless capabilities. And I feel like when I really started digging into the YoloBox, because I had different tools for different things, I got rid of my ATEM switcher, I got rid of my sling, I got rid of and I'm talking about I had racks and cases and we were running power and taping. We got a YoloBox and we ran a few cables and we were good to go. And that's my everyday workhorse.
So your YouTube videos you make right now,
correct.
Are you doing the switching yourself? Do you have a producer on site or what do you do?
I'm switching myself. If you ever watch some of the, we do a live podcast, I'm sitting there talking like, yeah, okay. Or I'm using features where it automatically switch based off who's talking. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't used the screen on the Extreme, the OLED, it'll have you thinking your stuff is just beautiful. Like, if you get it back to your home monitor and it's not OLED, you'd be like, let me, you plug your camera into the Extreme. It'll show you what you paid for. Because a lot of times you don't really get to see how powerful your signal is coming from your sensor because your TV or monitor is not really built to handle it. But the OLED will have your stuff looking good. Feel good. I show people on the Extreme. I'll be like, don't look at it on the monitor. Let me show you right here. So it helps. Any other questions? All right, I'm tired. If y'all see me walking around and y'all got questions later, feel free to tap me on the shoulder and chop it up with me.